State of a Nation, coming to you live from Channels Television. Well, let's turn our attention to the security situation in the Northeast with a view to, taking a look at some of the activities of the military and, of course, the police in trying to curb the security challenge in that region. And to discuss this issue, I have with me a public affairs analyst and a security expert. One is in the studio. His name is Enito Olukotun, a public affairs analyst. Thank you for joining us on the program. And joining us live from Abuja, we have Mr. Olatubosun Abolariwa. He's a security expert. Thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you very much.
Okay, let's get right into this issue of security. And I'd like to start with you, Mr. Enito. Now, is there a simple answer as to why security remains a challenge in this country?
Yeah, well, if you look at it very well, all over the world, security will always, be a challenge. Even in the, developed Western world, you still have, security breaches here and there. Despite the fact that they put in a lot of measures, to curb the activities of criminals, you will still find one or two people, within the society that want to toe the line of crime. So generally, in as much that human activities, remain on this planet Earth, you will find, security challenges, rearing its ugly head every now and then. That if you look at it, strategically looking at the way Nigerian government has been, trying and curbing, the security challenges we are having, I think they are really making headway. I think today they, intercepted these Boko Haram fighters somewhere around Bama, and they were able to repel them, from attacking the Nigerian base, there. To answer your question, we will definitely have security challenges with us, but what is most important is what is the government doing, in trying to contain, and put things under control.
Now, the reason I ask this question is it appears Nigeria's situation is peculiar. Now, a report that was released during the week ranks Nigeria as a third most terrorized country in the world. So, I mean, there are other countries, but Nigeria is third, just behind Afghanistan and Iraq. So, it appears this has been a major issue for a while. And I'd like to hold on to you. And let's allow Mr. Olatubosun Abolariwa from Abuja respond to that. Is there a simple answer as to why security appears to remain elusive in the country?
Yeah, unfortunately, like my colleagues earlier said, security challenges is a global phenomenon now, especially that of terrorism. And it is unfortunate that Nigeria have to come after Iraq and Afghanistan. We did not crawl here, we walked there. We saw it growing right under our own view. Our attitude towards security of lives and property can still be made better. And one of the reasons why it seems to be getting worse, no matter what figure we have to put out there, is simply because we have not got certain things right in our effort to curb insurgency, insecurity, and terrorism. Our effort is more towards government action, and it did not carry the people along in their own bid to fight terrorism. Our policy towards funding the policing of counterterrorism or insurgency is also appalling. The police are not given the right training. The police are not given the right amount of funding they need to prepare them for the counterterrorism of the 21st century. So, putting all those together, the Army too have their own to say about lack of equipment. Just this week, we heard that the President just approved that weapons should be bought, more weapons should be bought for the Army. So if the Army don't have enough weapons, if the police don't have enough training, enough funding for training, if the police officers are being sent to an environment of post-conflict zones without proper training or proper preparation, I think it's a catalyst for disaster. I just hope that the disaster is going to be minimal rather than being maximal.
Okay, now Nigeria is inching towards a very, very important milestone in its history. I'm talking about the 2019 general elections, and it is very hard to separate politics from security. I mean, politics in the right sense of it, making policies, implementing these policies. A lot of candidates have put out manifestos. This is what we'll do when we get there. This is how we'll handle security. But if you were to look at the situation, what are the issues that you feel we should handle first when it comes to security in the country?
Now, if you look at the issue of security, I think what we need to get, first and foremost, it has to do with intelligence. Okay. Intelligence gathering actually helps a lot in preventing, security and also stopping any crime, in the track. Yeah. And again, we have to look at the, weapons, the military hardware. If you recall, the chief of army staff said in this week that even the $1 billion that was proposed, to procure military hardware for our troops who were on the battlefield has not been released. We think by now, looking at the seriousness in which this government attached to security, looking at the way in which the Nigerian army has been suffering a lot of fatality, casualty at the war front, the Nigerian government, ought to have released that money, for the military
so
to
for
get...
You, funding is key.
Funding is key. Training, just like what my colleague said, is key, and some other things that we need to do, especially intelligence, and we need to give kudos to our troops. They have been able to achieve much with little. So if you look at what they have been able to do over time, they have complained that they don't have the necessary equipment, arms they need to counter these terrorists, and they have been able to do a lot of things. We need to commend them.
I apologize, I have to hold you off there just to get a final response from Mr. Olatubosu in Abuja. Moving forward, 2019 is on the horizon, if I could say that. What can we do right in this coming year? 30 seconds, please.
Okay, what we really need to do right in this coming year is that the current government came in the midst of serious insecurity problem. The Boko Haram was running over a whole zone in Nigeria, and the situation has not really changed, although we may come up with a figure. And I think in the area of mobilization of the people, terrorism is all about ideology. What is the ideology of the general public? What has the government mobilized us to do against getting more security for our lives and properties? Government needs to look more into that. And I want to appeal to the government. The police are not being well funded. The police are not being trained. We just sent 2,000 officers to the Northeast, but they have not been trained about counterterrorism or post-conflict environment. So we don't want a situation where their weapon is going to end up in the hand of terrorists, or we're going to start counting body bags over the next few months. And I want to appeal to the government to please fund the police before sending thousands of them to the Northeast to counter insurgency.
I think we'll just leave it right there. I mean, that's a great place to end it. I'd like to thank you very much, Mr. Eniton Olukotu and Mr. Olatubosu Bolariwa for joining us on the program tonight. Well, that's so much we can take on State of the Nation for this week. Thank you for joining us. I am Kayode Okikiolu.